Guess what time it is? Time to raid this week with my subscribers in this motherfucker. So, since I managed actually to do my normal shit relatively quickly this week, that means I have more time to head into the raids this week and start helping people try and get to at least do their first raids or whatnot. Maybe finish up some raids and checkpoints and shit like that. Well, everyone except the YouTube audience, you can go fuck themselves. So here's the deal. Obviously, I can only take 5 people with me at a time. And the reality is, I need to take 5 people who can get through the fucking thing. It's one thing to take 5 blueberries, all low level and shit. And it's like, oh, hey, it's all nice to play with JLoco11 and shit. But we're not going to beat the motherfucker. And you're going to get frustrated. I'm certainly going to get frustrated. And in the end, everybody's going to get all pissed off. To prevent that, here's what we'll do. I don't care who the 5 people are that come with me. You don't have to be in the clan. You just need to be on my friends list. There's no sign up or some shit like that. When you see me online Saturday, whether you have or haven't raided before, you'll be able to join up and then we'll be able to go on the raid. However, I would like people to at least have an understanding of the raid before they come into this motherfucker. So, if you want to get into the raid, you have some homework to do. Go to any one of the videos that explains how the raid is done and watch that shit. Understand that shit. Now, I know I'm not a tutorial channel, and me giving tips on the raid is fucking pointless since there are countless other videos out there that have already done that. However, I can at least offer up a bit of our strategy to each part of the raid so that you can understand a little bit of the shit. The opening part is the Castellum, and that is easy enough to explain and easy enough to complete. 2 people are going to go get keys. The other 4 are going to defend the keys. Nice and simple, right? Great, because we're going to skip that shit. Because the game allows you to go through the underbelly of the ship, and you guys will see what I'm talking about, we're just going to skip all that crap. I'm not even going to bother defending that motherfucker. However, if you guys want to see how the Castellum works, feel free to watch videos. It's very simple. 2 people go get the keys. The other 4 people defend those motherfuckers. This week, the Gauntlet is running first, and that's the most confusing shit to explain. Watch videos on that shit. Seriously, there are a number of ways people can beat the actual Gauntlet. A number of differences that teams will use in shooting the arrows and determining which players are going to go where. It's not that hard. It's just a bit confusing the first time you do it until you actually get the hang of it. We keep 4 people on their platforms. We don't rotate the motherfuckers all around the room for the goddamn reason. Oh, God, that strategy is so fucking stupid. I don't get that shit. Anyway, man, 2 people are going to be running through the tic-tac-toe obstacle course in this motherfucker, and the other 4 will be shooting the arrows and opening doors for each runner, and then we got to punch the Scion in their bubble. Once you get the mechanics down, it's incredibly easy to do. I can't stress this shit enough. It's not that difficult to do the Gauntlet once you learn all the mechanics. It's probably the easiest part of the raid once you lock down what you're supposed to do. The second part of the raid this week is going to be the Royal Pools, and that is another fairly easy section. Just like the Gauntlet, this is another fucking relay race. Or more accurately, it's more like a baton race, if you will. There are 4 plates around the room. 4 people are going to stand on the plates with a protection that dwindles down over time and shit like that. You're going to get a 50-second timer, and then eventually that 50-second timer is going to run out, and you can't stand on that plate. The other 2 players are running to the middle room to replenish that protection buff, and then they're going to go replace the players on the plates. It's very similar to how you had to open King's Fall from the Taken King. Once you've done this enough times, the middle room will allow you to do damage to these 9 urns that are going to hang from chains on a ceiling. You need to damage those shits with everything you got. Supers, hammers, golden guns, whatever the fuck it is. Have someone kill all the enemies that are going to spawn in the room, and if you destroy all 9 urns, you move on. If you don't destroy all 9, you're going to head back to the plates, and you're going to repeat step number 1 all the way into the end till you break all 9 of those purple dangly shits. Next section after that is the Pleasure Gardens, and probably the biggest pain in the ass in the entire raid. And it's easily the section that teams will fuck up and spend the most time on. Explaining this shit in a condensed version is a pain in the ass, because basically, you need to power yourselves up to kill 6 hounds in the room. They have a shitload of health. And the only way you're really going to do damage to them is to get an empowerment around the room. So, how do you do that? Well, 2 guys are going to have this weapon that gets the empowerment. The other 4 people are going to be on the floor running around this fucking zoo without being detected by the goddamn dogs, and we have to run to a flower in order to power ourselves up. That is right, we're running to a fucking flower and we're going to pollinate this shit. That's the best way I can explain that shit. The more flowers you reach, the stronger damage you're going to do to the dog. So ideally, you want to reach as many flowers as possible. There's a lot more to explain about this shit, plus knowing where the fucking dogs are is also a challenge, since people won't have a fucking clue half the time of that shit. But it can be done with enough patience, and people paying attention to me will be able to get shit done. Usually I'm the motherfucker on the floor leading players to certain flowers and whatnot, so basically we'll try and knock that shit out as fast as we can. After that, then you reach the boss, Emperor Calus, and explaining that shit takes forever because this shit is like Atheon meets War Priest meets the Sisters. You need to know what the fuck to do, where the fuck to go, what the fuck to shoot, what the fuck to say, and what the fuck people are saying. Y'all know what the fuck I'm saying? Good. Here's the basics. Once again, we're going to split into 2 teams because that's all this fucking raid does is split people into 2 teams. Not 1 team. No, we're not going to have 6 people do some shit, motherfucker. We need 2 teams doing shit. Anyways, at some point, Calus is going to teleport everyone into the world with his giant fat fucking face in this space dimension. How he has the power to do that, who the fuck knows. Anyways, 3 people are going to come back to the throne room. 3 people are going to stay in the teleport world. Those 3 in the teleport world will see signs on top of that fat fucker's forehead. Call out the signs, and the people in the throne room will punch the correct Scion Counselor, whatever the fuck it is. Do that enough times, and the teleport team will shoot skulls that he spits out of his mouth. Yes, I am not joking about that part. Watch the fucking video, and you'll see what the fuck I mean. He will then give you an empowerment, similar to what we were just doing in the Pleasure Gardens with the dogs. When you get enough empowerment, that means you could do a lot more damage to the boss. Hurt the boss on 4 separate platforms, because again, 4 platforms has been in every fucking part of this raid so far. When you have done enough damage, he will die. Oh fucking joy, we get our goddamn reward. You got all that? Of course not. Now you have to go watch a better video other than listen to my quick explanations. So in order to join up with me, you need to pretty much be a minimum of 280 power, preferably 290. 280 will allow you to barely survive. Anything less than 280, you're not coming on the raid. There's just no way you're going to complete the full raid because you seriously need to do damage, and the boss alone will fuck your day up. Enemies will kill you at 270. So the higher you are, the better you'll be, the easier we'll make that shit. Having a good variety of weapons is also the key to the raid. Scout rifles are some of the best options in the game for the raid. And at certain parts, you're absolutely going to need a scout rifle. Auto rifles, submachine guns, they're all going to come in handy when you get up close with enemies. So having that will help along with a sword. If you can get a decent sword, that will certainly come in handy during the raid, during at least the Pleasure Gardens. Rockets with cluster bombs are also going to be a big help. As for exotics, Cold Heart and Merciless are probably 2 of the best exotics you can have in the game, especially up into boss fight. Even some of the other fights before that, these are 2 weapons that will do some absolute work for you and do a lot of damage. Bump those up as high as possible if you can. Sweet Business is pretty decent. I personally like using the Risk Runner on certain parts, and I know other people like using the Sunspot in certain sections. So if you have those bumped up, bring them because they're all helpful, they're all useful. They will have some use when it comes to this raid one way or another. When you guys see me online Saturday, just message me if you're down to raid and whatnot. If some of my normal crew is online, they might join. However, they don't have the patience that I do. No shit, man. They want to finish that shit quickly. They will bitch you out if you're not learning. It's one thing if you make a mistake. Fine. If you're not learning from your mistake, that's when they're going to start bitching. So make sure to watch some of the tutorials on the motherfucker. That way you can get through the sections. That way you understand what we're telling you, and then you'll be able to beat parts of the raid. So that's how we're going to do it. Raid time this weekend with my subscribers. As always, rate, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit. And I'll see you guys this weekend in the Leviathan raid. Hopefully you guys don't keep me there for 6 fucking hours.